Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check. You go in.
Hi. Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to my classroom. I am Julie Ladd, and I am a science teacher here at Helena High. I have known Governor Bullock since he and I were in 7th grade. He has been a lifelong friend since then, for the 40 years that have passed since that time. He and I took several classes together here at HHS, one of which was an advanced biology class that was taught by my dad. I was his confirmation sponsor, and about 11 years ago, he presided over my wedding. More than anything, I am the reason that you are here today. You see, about 6 months after Steve moved home from New York, he and I were taking tennis lessons through the City Parks program. And at one of those lessons, I mentioned to him that I had run into an old schoolmate of ours, Lisa Downs. And I was telling him what a genuinely kind and wonderful person she is. And I may have encouraged him to call her. And apparently he did. And it is my great privilege to introduce that sweet, kind, and wonderful lady to you now, Lisa Bullock.
That was impressive, Julie. I have notes.
Thanks.
So, I have the pleasure of introducing Steve today, and I'm filled with two emotions: gratitude and hope. Thank you, Julie. Where'd you go? There you are. For bringing Steve and me together, for allowing us to gather in your classroom today, and for using your gifts and talents to teach and to make a meaningful difference in the lives of kids, including Caroline's. And congratulations on being nominated, I don't know how many times again, for being a distinguished educator. Thank you. Thank you, Principal Tennis, for allowing us to gather in your school. I know you had the opportunity to take an administrative position, and thank you for deciding to follow your heart. I know it meant the world of you to still have the opportunity to interact with students. So thank you for using your talents to impact the lives of all the students in this school, nearly 1,600 of them. Thank you. Thank you to the students gathered here. I appreciate you accepting Caroline's invitation. I think the gift of friendship is the greatest gift you can give to one another. And thank you for giving that gift to Caroline these past few years, and especially today, in supporting her. So thank you, Alex, Caroline, and Cameron, for supporting your dad on this journey. We recognize that it makes your life a little bit more challenging. So with that, I'm going to move on to hope. So I hope you guys can feel connected with Steve today. Like you, he attended Helena High School. He sat in the same classrooms. He walked the same hallways. He cheered in the same gym. I hope that Steve can inspire you to be courageous. Each of you has your own gifts and talents, and I hope that you have the courage to listen to and follow your heart, to attempt to do things even when people are telling you to pursue other things, or even when others are telling you that you might fail. Alex and Cam are going to pass out a copy to all of you of my favorite quote from Theodore Roosevelt. I have it hanging on my wall at work, and I read it every day. I hope that you all have the courage someday or in the near future to step into the arena to dare greatly, and to know great enthusiasm. I hope that Steve can inspire you to serve and to lead. Even if you don't know what you want to do yet or where you want to go to school, it's okay. Listen to and follow your heart. Use your gifts to serve and to lead and to improve the lives of those around you and to make where you live, study, and work a better place. I know Steve's decision today is genuinely grounded in making this country a better place. And I know that he has the courage to use his talents and gifts to step into the arena, to dare greatly, and to know great enthusiasm. Please join me in welcoming a man who continues to inspire me to lead and to serve, Steve Bullock.
Good afternoon. So this morning we released a video announcing that I was running for President of the United States in 2020. It's a pretty audacious goal for a B student who sat in the same seats that you actually are sitting in right now. But you know, I could think of no better place to kick it off than right here in this classroom. When I was sworn in as governor of Montana 6 years ago, I reflected on the improbable journey that allowed a kid who was raised about a mile from where we are right now to get to serve as the 24th governor of the state of Montana. I noted that what made the improbable achievable, it's still all around us today. It's the hills that surround us all around this community. It's a little north of Helena, Gates of the Mountains, where I worked when I was young. It really is sort of those open and tranquil places where kids can explore, dream. I noted that you could find the improbable right here in these public schools, the same schools that you're at today, where I, like every child, was given the opportunity to both realize my potential and then finally fulfill it. That invitation is extended no matter your station in life. And you'll find what made the improbable achievable in the values, both Montana values, that both my parents and this community taught us. It was respect and tolerance. It was honesty. It was hard work. And most importantly, my mom wanted to get us a good education. It would open doors, expand opportunities, give us a chance for meaningful jobs, and then if we chose to raise our families here as well. In serving as governor, I've had the opportunity to meet tens of thousands of people all across the state who share my enthusiasm for our future and my love of this state. We share the same dreams that my parents had for me. And really those are the same dreams that your parents have for you. The dream that our children will live a better life than we did. And a fair shot at success within reach for every single person. I learned along the way on that journey that no matter who you are or what you do, or who we voted for, most Montanans, we actually want and value the same thing. We want a safe community. We want a roof over our head, a decent job. We want good public schools, clean air and clean water. That unwavering belief that you can do better for your kids and grandkids than you ever had for yourself as well. Then over my time, not just here in Montana, but I've had the chance to travel quite a bit throughout this country. And there's common values that we all hold as Montanans. Really the same thing that folks all across this country really want. So set aside our differences. Isn't that ultimately what we need to move forward as a country? to take this great experiment in freedom and democracy and make it work for every single citizen, no matter where they live or how they worship or who they might love. Whether they're born in a ranch in eastern Montana or in downtown Atlanta, or Chicago suburbs, or a small town in Texas. Because once we get to actually what really matters, it's pretty much the same, isn't it? First, we really want just peace of mind. That means a safe place to live and work. Enough to eat. Knowledge that if we get sick, we can afford a doctor and medicine heals. We want clean water to drink, and air to breathe, and space to move around that we get here. Sure, that's just the basics. But if we can actually agree on these things, that's a heck of a lot of common ground to work with. And I think that's ultimately how we do it here in Montana. After getting reelected in 2016, our family's plan was to complete my second term as governor, then close the book on this chapter of public service. But what we're experiencing now in this country compelled us to ask whether there's more that we could contribute. Fundamentally, we've reached, I think, a dangerous place in this 243-year experiment we call representative democracy. Far too many people no longer believe that they have as good a shot as the parents did. The economy works for some, but for far too many people they're left behind. Then when folks look to Washington, D.C., I think there's actually reason for skepticism. Trusting government is at its lowest point in my lifetime. Despite what we learned here in school, our politics are dominated by those who can actually write the biggest checks and drown out people's voices. And when trust in government actually disappears, that's what gives rise to the dangerous discourse, the divisiveness that we see everywhere from Washington, D.C. to every one of your Facebook feeds. Government becomes the enemy instead of a partner in improving people's lives. We're more divided as a country than we've ever been at any point in my lifetime. Each side's more interested in placing blame, ultimately, for what we've become, rather than ultimately inspiring each other to see how could we be better. It's not the country, ultimately, that Lisa and I want to pass on to you, which is the next generation. We know that we're at our best when we actually embrace our shared values, not when we divide into warring camps, or when a fair shot at opportunity is within reach of every single family, not just those with money. We're at our best when civility actually replaces the anger so that everybody's voice can be heard. And we're willing to take on the big challenges head on, and when we lead actually in the community of nations. And I do believe that we can be that country. Again, working together, we can be sure of it. This place where you were raised, and where I was raised. You seniors just still remember what it was like as you got closer to graduation, and times you're so ready to be done. But Montana, this place, its people and its real purpose actually built for me a world where the improbable was achievable, where that unlikely was actually attainable. And those are the same opportunities that I want for each of you. Because no one should have to leave their home, their church, or their community just for a fair shot at a better life. I've been so blessed and so deeply honored to be afforded the opportunity as governor to give back. Appreciate you all letting me stop by my old classroom as we begin the journey to these next steps to see what we can do to make certain that the improbable is achievable for all Americans, to make certain that the country that we hand off to you is better than the one who was handed off to us. Can't wait to see what we can do together. Thanks for spending a little time in our old classroom. I think I'd be willing to answer almost any question. Any questions? Yeah.
What inspired you to run for president?
Yeah, and it wasn't a thought that I had before 2016. We were, or I was really saying, 12 years in the public eye is quite a bit. But after the 2016 election, and when I won in Montana, it was a little bit unique because this was a state that President Trump won. And 20 to 30% of my voters voted for Donald Trump. But the level of division and the level of recognizing that it's not how we do it in Montana. Like, we actually figure out a way to make things work. And the knowledge that, as I said, when I was growing up here, right, I said regular access to the governor's house as a kid because I delivered newspapers to it, so I only made it 4 blocks in life. But I knew I had a shot, right? I had a shot because I had teachers here that cared about me. I had a community that actually watched out of me, that inspired me. I had these trails that I still go on. And I worry that your generation, like what was afforded me the opportunity, back then 90% of 30-year-olds, as an example, were doing better than their parents were raised. Today it's only half. So this idea you work hard, you go to school, or you get a trade and you're gonna do better, it's out of reach for so many people. And then they look to the political system for it to work. And all they see is not only dysfunction, but it seems like who has the most money is who they're gonna pay attention to. So I think the economy's kind of broken, the political system's kind of broken, and that's where the bonds between us are starting to break. So what inspired me, by and large, were you and everybody else, thinking that if I could give this opportunity, gift, to hand off something better than what I got, then it's certainly worth the effort. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
How would you shrink the political divide in the United States as it is now?
How would you bridge the political divides?
Yeah, like try to bring it
Yeah.
together as a nation.
Yeah, and that's, this whole time I've been governor, as an example, right? My legislature's been over, usually about 60% Republican. But when we walk in that building, it's not, who are the Democrats, who are the Republicans all the time? It's like, how can we possibly impact people's lives? And I think that DC could learn a lot from Montana on that side. I mean, day one, I was Attorney General for his governor. I mean, one of the things that probably be more appropriate for your government class, I mean, there was this case, Citizens United, in 2010. It was the first time that the Supreme Court said money is speech and corporations are essentially people. So what we've seen is more and more money being spent outside of elections to try to influence how people vote and what they're willing to do. Used to be a time that even like President Bush talked about the importance of addressing climate change. Now, out of half of Washington, they won't even acknowledge that climate change is human caused. So I think step one in bridging the divide is actually what's been a lot of the fight of my career, is trying to address the outside dollars and more or less the corrupting influence of money in our system. We can do that by some executive order, some legislation. Step two is really what I also said, is recognize that most people's lives are too busy to care about politics, right? They're worried, is my kid gonna be at a good school? Am I gonna get sick? Am my kid safe when I drop them off at school? And if we actually look at what unites us, it's a lot more than what seems to divide us these days. And I think we can take some of that approach in a way that hopefully will elevate the system and make a meaningful difference. Yes, ma'am.
What have you been proudest to achieve as governor?
I am happy that hopefully my kids still know my most important job is being their dad. I think the things where, you know, as governor, it's not like attorney general, when you know you won or lost a case. Sometimes you won't have impacts for years. But I know that 100,000 people in Montana have health care because of the work that we've done. I know that we've done more, to the earlier question, to try to keep the outside influence dollars out of our elections so that your voice matters as long as you vote, as long as you vote. Than some big corporate treasury or company. I'm pleased with the way that we've invested in education. I think that's one of the great equalizers that we have. I think another great equalizer is our public lands. We've protected those, so we'll hand off that to you as well. So I guess those are a few of the things I've been pleased with. One more question? Oh.
What's your best
No, you, forget it. I'm sorry.
What's your best dad joke?
Well, you guys would probably have to judge what my best dad joke is. Maybe, you know. So, Mama Buffalo is dropping baby Buffalo off at school. And you know what he says? Bye, son.
Okay, on that note.
On that note.
You guys want to go up? You want to get a family photo in
Sure.
front of the room? So stills, if you guys can hold for a moment, we're going to let TV get the first shot. Do you guys want them more centered next?